Afternoon sim fans, Racing 393 for the final capture of today. With regards to my GTR compilation, we've worked our way through GTR 2, GTR Evolution, and now finally on to Raceroom. Now, this is far more advanced, obviously. This is like a evolving game, a bit like iRacing. So the content you pay for, the proceedings go towards more development and hence more licensing and better gameplay and stuff like that. So it's a good thing. Well, these other games are sort of quite old. They was updated many moons ago and then left still in their own time warp, if you like, but they're still very, very good. So what I plan to do, I've done the races. It was a two-part race. First one was 15 minutes long, with a qualifying session that went really bad. I just didn't put a clean lap in, so I was at the back. It's, pretty much that was it. And then unfortunately, for the second race, I was recording that one as well, and it seems my PC's maxed out on its storage, so I just stopped recording. So I didn't get I sort of started the second race, but didn't finish it on record. I carried on with the race. Just so you know, I carried on. I did catch up with the second to last guy, as I was the last thing I said was I'll try and catch him up. I was catching him, but maybe not quite quick enough, so I ran out of laps. The adaptive AI does work. The more you play it, the more it adjusts to your style of driving and things like that. So, anyhow, so what do I think of the game then? It is really, really good. There's some people that don't like it. I personally, again, another debate. Game or sim? When you have like a game and it has a career mode, for example. Many games like that. Formula 1, for example. The new Formula 1 game coming out in August will have that. It's like an even more in-depth career, which I like than the predecessor. Assetto Corsa has a career. The last two GT games, GT2, GTR2 and GTR Evolution, both had career options. This, and like iRacing, I suppose iRacing does have a career of sorts. It's more of a racing and points and leagues. And I suppose this does have a league, but even in single player, you can set up your own championship, but that's it. You can't. There's no progression. You just buy content and use it. Where a lot of racing games have a career option, and this isn't a game that you go out on the stores and buy it. It's Steam only. Again, like I made two. There's two good debates here. The first one being, let's go with this. So, being with you buy a game, what do you want? Do you want a career in it, or do you just want racing? I think if you think back to I keep mentioning the 360 and Xbox. The reason I do mention about the Xbox a lot is because I've only got a PS3 and I don't really play PS3 games. I'm not really a PlayStation. I'm more Xbox. So that's why I keep mentioning it. But you go back to the 360, we had, what was that, Race Pro? It's just racing. Still got that game actually. I mean, it's a pity that's not backward compatible. I'd like to give it a go. We go other games. Rally Trophy, that had a career in it. Richard Burns Rally, it had a career. Automobilista. That's just setting up a championship. There's no career. You just play it. You buy the content. You play it, or you set your own championship up, and away you go. Good, but there's no career. What else have we got? I'm going to have to have a look down my little list now because I'm sort of failing and thinking. Well, most of the F1 games had career. Most of them. I think one they omitted. Can't remember off the top of my head which one that was. But they mostly had careers. GT Legends that had a career. You know, things you had to unlock. Quite like that. The GT game, so GTR had a career, GTR 2 and Evolution. Project Cars had a career. It wasn't the best career, but nevertheless it had a good career. This Race 07 kind of what's that word called? Calatomy. Is that even a word? All the other games in it hasn't got a career. You just do a championship, so you just race. Raceroom. You just race. What else we got there? R Factor. No career. You just race. And R Factor 2. To 2. You just race. There's no career. Interesting. So it depends which way you swing, I suppose. To quote the pun. So there's your first debate. Secondly, the one was when I was talking about corners being named after drivers. I don't want to mention any names because anyone that's actually fatally killed in a race on racing deserves maximum respect. No. I'm not even going to go down that. It's just that some corners. I don't really want to mention too many of them, but it's just opinion. My opinion is it actually worthy of that? They're not all dead. Don't need morbid. You get corners named after drivers who are still here. Let's be fair. I don't know. You know, if you think back on the old days, you know, Surtees. Unfortunately, he's recently died. Graham Hill. Cooper Straight. Yes, I can see the ring there. I can see that there's a lot of heritage, a lot of history. I'm not going to mention any other names. I don't think it's fair because my opinion is total respect. It's just a debate. Is it worthy of naming these bends after every single driver that's unfortunately succumbed to injuries on racing, or not? I don't know what your opinion is on that. I'm divided. Put it this way, I've done nothing as far as racing is concerned and worthy of mentioning anything. And I think naming a bend after me when I've gone would be, frankly, a piss take. But it's not about me. Other drivers. Drivers that have done something for the sport, drivers that have achieved something, gone on to be greater when they've stopped racing. I think that's where I'm heading for. You get some. I mean, how many? I think of a driver that maybe people might have heard of. Let's think of. Can't think of any old drivers that were good but not worthy of championships and things. I mean, it probably gets again. It's what I mean. What about David Kennedy? Raced in sort of 70s F1. Now don't get it wrong, I don't think he's got a corner named after him. But was it David Kennedy? Didn't he rescue someone who was on fire? Was it something to do with that? You know, it's a very I don't know. Is it actually worth it for debate? Really, is it? It was just talking, so it'd be good to hear your thoughts. there's many, there's... Has Mansell got a bend named after him? Mansell? I don't know. I know he's got a track named after him, a kart track, but not named after it, is his track. He owns it, so... Is there a named corner after Herbert? I only mention names that are springing to mind. I mean, he's achieved a bit, but he's not exactly. If you had to name some drivers, where would he be in the list? I think he's actually more remembered for his accident in '89 in his F3000. I think that's worthy of something. His book, for example, is worthy of that. It's a good book. Yeah. Who else? Who else could we talk? Yeah, you have to go back. Yeah, there was Villeneuve, there's Peroni. And what about? Well, yeah, we're just talking about Formula One here. What about rally drivers? Plenty of those have been killed in crashes. Plenty of those are still alive that have done a lot for rallying. Why aren't stages named after them? Or are they? I mean, I'm not a rally fan. If you're a rally fan, you can let me know. Look, Eri Vatanen. I mean, he's only saying because I don't know many other rally drivers. Stig Blomqvist. Has there been stages or rallies named after them? I mean, I think that well, I know Eri Vatanen's alive. Is Stig alive? Is he still about? McRae. Probably one of the most iconic drivers ever. Obviously Richard Burns and that the games, but that's when they were around. Afterwards, has there been anything named after them? A stage? I don't know. So I'm just saying. That's my theory. I just want to have a debate about it. It's nothing to do with racing, as in it's nothing to do with Raceroom. So yeah. Anyway, to summarise. Just to summarise, Raceroom is a bloody good game. Just to show that we do have more things here than just me. Look, there's a dog. There is. Look at the camera. No, look at the camera. Look at the camera. That's a dog. Alright. Can we get down? And down. So anyway, yeah. So race 1 was alright. Race 2 didn't record, only a bit of it. I'll edit most of that out, and I won't do a sort of an end recap because I've said it here. Poles apart from the other 2 GTR games, to be honest, but very very similar in some other aspects. You can definitely see it's got sim bin detailing. So onwards and upwards. Not sure what the next game will be. I'll do. If you've got any suggestions, let me know. Oh, by the way, I did have 18 subscribers. I've got 19. Woohoo! 1. Thank you, that one person. I don't know who it is. They just said they subscribed this morning. Probably out self-pity again, I expect. Oh, I feel sorry for him. Better put another person on there. So anyway, no, but thanks for that, whoever that was. So 19 people. Yeah, let me know what you want to. If you want any particular review, any game you want me to go through, any questions, put them on my page, and I'll answer them. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon.
Fans, welcome to Monza for race 1. Well, as I've said before, this isn't Imola. Raceroom Experience, ironically, doesn't have Imola. Well, maybe it's coming soon, but it's not there yet. So, onwards and upwards with GT3. Right, I had a bit of practice, had a bit of a quali. Terrible qualifying session. I didn't put a clean lap in at all. I was actually set in fastest sectors in 1 and 2, and then cocking it all up on the last sector and going off and getting a penalty, which invalidated that lap and the next. So unlike the previous GTR games, GTR 1, well GTR, GTR 2 and GTR Evolution, track limits in those games are quite lenient. This is really strict. So it's gone one extreme to the other. So I've got this set to a 2-race format, but I'm only going to do the single race today. It's around Monza, 15-minute race. I'm on the back of the grid, but the good thing is I'm on adaptive AI. So what that means is that the AI kind of will drive shit like I do. Well, in effect, they should drive around the same skill level as me, the AI pilot. So, AI pilot, whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to say there. Anyhow, so onwards and upwards. I've just got to. I do need to change something before I forget. This. I don't know how many laps I'm meant to do in 10 minutes, in 20 minutes. So there we go. It's a minute and a half per lap. So it should be enough. Right. I think that's everything. There's something else I was going to look at. That's fine, that's fine. I was just going to add a bit more force feedback multiplier, so it a little bit more feel through the wheel than what I've just done. So hopefully that will make a difference. So Raceroom Experience by Studio 397, formerly well, I don't know if it is formerly, but on the other GTR games it was Sector 3. So there's a lot of similarities, but obviously this is far more modern. This is a little bit like iRacing, where it's constantly evolving. So it hasn't got the grid that scrolls, unfortunately. Something they've omitted. But you can see the type of cars that we've got. I like that race number. In fact, I like that car. Should have picked that one. Interestingly though, if I go back, that's on Avons. That's even more interesting. Everything else seems to be on. That's on P0s, Dunlops. So what is it? Just bring whatever you've got in your garden shed, bolt them on, and race then. So there are all different makes of cars. I wonder what I'm on. I bet I'm on Yokohamas or something. I'm going to skip through some of these cars. And there I am in my Nissan Pirelli's, another number 33. But I'm in my YouTube sponsored Nissan. Rather apt. Yeah, it's the GT Academy. That was good, that program. And they're not Porsches because I haven't got the Porsche license, not yet anyway. So I'm sure they're all RUFs. I'm just going back to double check. Yeah, RUF. I wasn't sure then, just in case. Right, so here we go then. Here we go. Interesting first corner. So we've got a lap to sort ourselves out and a 15-minute race ahead of us. If you crash on the opening lap, I'll reset. Once across the line, it's a done deal. Away from me here. far more tentative, this race room. The handling's far more intricate. The other two games, you tend to be able to overcome any problems you might have with the handling and force feedback. I mean, this really does feel part of the track. You know, you can feel the grip going in every corner of the car. It's a really weird sensation. Hard to explain unless you've done it. So I've missed my braking point then. We are losing out a little bit here. Even though it's an adaptive AI, which should actually come back to me, I suppose, when they realise how crap I am. Like that, under the brakes. I'm sure that's where the AI adjust onto the braking zones. See that I'm sort of catching them up now, and it's not because I'm really good. Really, probably where the AI are feeling sorry for me. Should I try and name some of these corners? I don't know them actually. I know this is Is this a Scari? This one? Yeah, this is a Scari. That's a good name, that is. I used to race against a guy called Philip Ascari in karting. He was actually good and Italian, ironically. The Parabolica. Down the main straight, which is just called the main straight. I think the first chicane's called, is it called the Rettifilio? I'm sure that's called the Rettifilio chicane. That's taken many configurations over the years. Catch up there. Oh, he's cut the corner. Get a good drive out of there now. The Grande? Is this the Curva Grande? I think they're going to try and put a chicane in there in real life, which is going to completely muck it up, in my opinion. I can't remember the name of that part of the chicane. That one. This is Lesmo 1. And ironically, Lesmo 2. Oh. That was out of order. That won't even be my fault. Black flag? That's not fair, is it? I don't think it's damaged my car. Find out in a minute. What was that called? A Scari? I think I have to look that up, haven't I? That's one thing about the Italians, they do name the corners well. It makes it sound historic. What have we got? Oh, we've got some quite good ones at Silverstone, I suppose. And Brands has got quite good names. I think some of our corners in some of the other tracks, maybe non-Formula 1, are a bit naff. And I'm going to open up a really massive debate here. Naming a corner after a dead driver. Now, I've forgotten how to drive now. My opinion would be that driver would have to be good. To have your name after anything, actually, you've got to be good at what you did. So, like Granville Bend, that goes without saying. You know, the Schumacher S's, you know, things like that. But there's some corners which are just named after people because they've been killed. Not necessarily they've been particularly good, although to be where they are, they've got to have been good. So I know that. Ooh, debate. Let me know your thoughts. Well, while I'm talking, I'm not actually driving properly. So the adaptive AI after lap. What lap are we on? Let's see. I don't know where to look. I've got the gear changes. Lap 6? No. Lap 5? I know I'm going to watch this back and think, there it is. Is it on my actual dashboard? Is it down there? No. But whatever lap we're on, I can't catch them anyway. Adaptive or not adaptive. I don't think this. I'm in a Nissan GTR, which I actually thought would be quicker. There's a number on my dashboard. Yeah, it is lap 5. I can see that. So we're on lap 5. So as we're not gaining on anyone, you can always edit this bit out. So here we are then, entering onto the final lap. One more lap to go. So as you can see, I didn't catch up. So I'm not saying the car was damaged. It's not exactly difficult to drive. It's just the driver is not on the ball today. It all started in qualifying actually. I just couldn't put a clean lap together, which just seems ironic. And today, yeah, I just can't catch the AI at all, no matter what I do. Very easy to overdrive, but got fantastic force feedback. And feel, and especially for feel for in the track grip. And like I said, all four wheels can be felt, it would seem, through the steering wheel. Obviously, I've not got timing on my gear changes I've got to work on. So I've been lapping steadily in the sort of the 153 bracket. It's not brilliant. But nevertheless, race one, very, very enjoyable. I think race two has a reverse grid. So there's a method to my madness, I suppose. There we have it. I thought it crashed then. So I wish that was me, race winner, but it isn't. Quite a nice looking car, nevertheless. Good race number, not a bad sponsor. Unfortunately, the driver was off key in that race. I did get taken off. That wasn't my fault, so I could have perhaps been second to last. But anyhow, the game, Raceroom, brilliant. You definitely can see the sin bin in it. But obviously it's a far better advanced handling model, which is again always being updated. They've literally just released the Porsche 235i, or was it the 134? It was out today. Not the Porsche, the BMW, the little the smaller BMW. I think it's a 235. I don't know actually. I've just bought it as well, so we might give that a go later. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this one here, and we're going to move on to race 2, which is actually 20 minutes. So we'll see how we get on. 2. It hasn't put me at the front of the grid. I will go through this. I think I'm at the back. I'm sure I put in the yeah, I'm at the back again. So I'm sure I put reverse of race 1. I'll have to check that out. But I'm at the back. Got a 20-minute race. I was as quick as him. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, let's give it a go. As with Raceroom, you can't take control of the car until it passes the start line. It's a bit of a shame. It'd be nice to be able to do a rolling lap, personally, or have the option to. try to go a bit quicker if I can. I mean, lots that I go off. Try to stay with the pack so the adaptive AI works. Well, they hit each other. That's handy. There's one place gained. And he's still back in the Scary chicane. I still didn't look up the names of the corners, by the way. Right, so we've got RUF in front of us. See if we get some of this tow. Back out. Another one slinked by, that was not too bad. What I found out with this car is you've got to reduce the speed with the braking before you go down through the gears. Otherwise it just revs its nuts off in each gear. And there we go. Well, unfortunately I had crossed the line. Here comes the guy again. He's hit me again. How did you leave that? Yeah, crap on the tyres. Pisser, isn't it? This is much harder than it looks. Got a warning there. God, it's so tight. You haven't really got to go too far over. So my objective is to catch him and take the bugger off. And not get too many warnings. Because I'll get a drive through and that'll be it. Right, a bit of concentration needed now while I catch him up.